My mind's playing tricks on me. Why won't it let me be? Look inside and try to find, but nothing seems to give me sweet relief. Why won't it let me be? Look inside and try to find, but every time it seems I lose my mind. My mind. Oh, It's Self-Helpless with Kelsey Cook, Delaney Fisher, and Taylor Tomlinson.
Thanks to Shoe Dazzle for supporting Self-Helpless. No matter what styles you're looking for, Shoe Dazzle is the place to get your shoe fix. You can get your first pair of shoes for 75% off, as low as $10, by going to shoedazzle.com/helpless.
And this episode of Self-Helpless is supported by ModCloth. For 15% off your purchase of $100 or more, go to modcloth.com and enter code HELPLESS at checkout. This offer is valid for one-time use only and expires on June 9th, 2019.
We're going to be looking real good.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this week's episode with special guest Amanda LaCount.
Woo!
Hey, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Self-Helpless. I'm Kelsey Cook.
I'm Delaney Fisher.
And I'm Taylor Tomlinson.
And today we are so excited to be joined by this amazing guest. We've been wanting to get her on for a while. She is a professional hip-hop dancer, choreographer, actress, singer, model, and influencer. She's also a huge body positivity advocate with the hashtag Breaking the Stereotype, which promotes body positivity and the belief that any body can be a dancer. Please welcome to the show, Amanda LaCount.
Hi.
Hello. You're so cute.
You are so cute and dressed so much better than any of us.
Oh, yeah.
Today,
So true.
she walked up and I was like, well, we really suck. Wow.
Oh my God. Should have brought a change of clothes.
I know.
And we were stunned to find out that you're only 18 and you've just accomplished so much.
Yeah.
What does that feel like?
I mean, it's crazy. I don't feel like, I mean, I have done a lot, but I don't feel like I've done an extra amount or like I'm that special. I just feel like I work really hard and it pays off, and that's
That's amazing.
you.
That's amazing. So I found you on like a CNN Facebook video. It was an interview, and obviously blown away by your talent. And then in your interview, you were talking about like some negative comments that you had received from like a past instructor or teacher, and the way that you handled it was so beautifully, because a lot of people talking about something like that would be like, look at me now, douchebag, you know, killing it. And you were just so humble and kind and compassionate, and that really stuck out to me as well. So yeah, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
Super
of course.
excited, a little starstruck.
Yeah, I've been creeping your Instagram real hard. I have been in dance classes like from a young age, my whole life. I don't do them as much anymore, but like one of my goals for 2019 was to go to the Millennium Dance Complex and take a class, but I've been too like nervous and shy to.
Oh no!
So when I heard you
go.
come on, I was like, maybe she'll take me with her and I can have a friend. I'm like on the playground again. I'm like, I just need somebody to hold my hand.
It's super fun. I actually have taken hip hop classes at Millennium.
It's intense,
How have you done that before I have?
Very secretively about 5 years ago in the back of the class, being like, I should not be here.
Oh my God.
This is very embarrassing for me. Yeah, I mean, I have the moves of like a celery stick. So
You're a good dancer.
I mean, you know, if I have a couple drinks in me, maybe. But
I understand the celery reference.
I could do a mean robot. But anyway, back to you, Amanda. We like to kick off the show with like a quote, favorite anecdote, anything like that. So if you have one,
Yeah,
we'd love to hear it.
I have two that I really like, and one of them is actually just something that I happened to say in the CNN interview that I wasn't thinking about, like making a quote. It just kind of came out of my mouth, but it's something I really love. And I said, "Talent isn't a look; talent is a passion."
Oh, yes.
And I once I heard it in the interview, I was like, "Oh wow!" I was like, "That's so good."
Step aside, Maya Angelou.
That's what I said in the car to my mom, because I was telling her that's the quote I was going to choose, and I was like, I sound like Maya Angelou.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy that you said
amazing.
that. But that's the first one that I think is really like powerful, and I don't know, I really stand by that.
Yeah.
And then the second one I said first maybe 3 years ago, and I said, if you love it, do it. It's as simple as that.
Yes.
And I love that.
Oh my gosh,
So
you're
good.
adorable.
So
yeah,
good.
those
and
are
true.
two that I love.
Two of her own quotes
She deserves it.
coming out strong.
She has
I
earned
love that. This is my
We should
favorite.
all like aspire to that, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And she has them at 18. Like, what are we doing with our lives? She has
Oh,
close
man.
to live by, and she's not even 20.
I need to catch up.
I know. That's amazing.
So it says that you've been dancing since about 2 years old. Is that
Yeah.
right?
So pretty much my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember like a moment where you're like, oh, this is it for me?
Well, I don't quite remember it in my head because it was so long ago, but at my first dance recital, we have a video of it. I was kind of a perfectionist, and they didn't want me even taking the dance classes because they said I was too young. Because most kids, like 2 or 3, they get on stage and they cry. They don't really do anything because they're so little. But my mom was like, oh no, she won't do that. Like, she wants this, and she's very like a perfectionist. And when I got on stage, I actually, because you have X's on the stage to mark where you're supposed to stand for the kids, and everyone was in the wrong spot, and I went around and I grabbed them and I moved them to the right spot, and then I continued the whole dance. Yeah, I was like 2 or 3.
My
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
That's you sounds like a young Kelsey
So-
Cook
Yeah,
or something. She was very similar to that.
I was just
as
gonna
a
say,
kid.
I'm for sure, like, there are videos of me in hip hop dance classes
Yep.
at the end of like the week or whatever when you've learned the routine, and it's like you can see me side eyeing like young bitches next to me that are like falling behind, and I'm like, you guys, like, get it together, like you're making us all look bad. Like that's like the vibe I was giving
Keep
off when
up.
I was like 8. So yeah,
my
I can
gosh,
relate to that
that's
very
so
much.
Oh
funny.
my gosh.
Yeah, I think that's probably a moment where my mom and my whole family and everyone else probably knew that I was going to do this for a while.
Yeah.
That it was going to be my thing.
That is so cool.
That's incredible.
And then I had no idea that you're also a competitive figure skater and cheerleader and what don't you do athletically? You do all of it.
That's insane.
Right now, I'm more focused on dance, obviously, but
Yeah.
I ice skated and competed from maybe when I was 8 to 12-ish.
Okay.
I absolutely loved it. I was so committed that I actually, in Colorado, where I'm from, I lived in Fort Collins, which is the north part, but I went to Denver School of the Arts, which is in Denver. So it was like an hour-and-a-half drive every day. And I was so committed that in the morning, because I have dance at night, so I couldn't ice skate at night. In the morning at 5 a.m., I would go to the ice rink and have my private lesson for an hour and then have to drive to school afterwards. And I did that 3 days out of the week, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And so that was crazy. And then plus having dance from like 6 to 10 and then driving home. So
Oh my
That's
god.
I don't
It's a
even know how I
lot.
did it. I could not do that now. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I did that. But
That
I
is
absolutely
a
loved
lot.
ice skating and I competed for a while and I loved it. But I had to kind of narrow it down to what I want to
Yeah.
focus on. And then
Yeah.
I did cheerleading for actually longer than I did ice skating. I did that from when I was 5 to 13.
Whoa.
I
Did you
believe.
do like the competitive, like the bring it on?
Yep.
Oh, you were like living my dreams.
Kelsey's shit right there.
Yeah.
It was
Oh my
really fun and
gosh.
I had a good time doing that. But again, I kind of had to like focus on what I want to actually pursue.
Yeah.
You can't do everything.
How did you choose?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or are you gonna ask?
I was
how
gonna
you
say, how did you
chose?
narrow it down? Because I feel like that's hard for
I mean,
people to
dance
do.
I had been doing my whole life, whereas like cheerleading and ice skating, I kind of added later. But I
Yeah,
think
when you
I
were
just
old and
knew.
5. Yeah. Ancient.
I know I had to decide my career at 5. No, but I think I just knew that dance is what I really wanted to do with my life, and it was what I was most passionate about. And you know, I could see myself not cheerleading and ice skating, but I couldn't see myself not dancing. It's just like
Yeah.
I couldn't see that. So
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
envision those things.
Yeah.
What can you not live without?
yeah.
I like that.
And is dancing your full-time professional thing now? Oh my
Yeah, I do it
God.
every day, pretty
That
much.
is
Wow. So
amazing.
So you've never had another job
No.
besides dancing?
No.
Wow.
Do you know how crazy that is? That's insane. Like,
Yeah.
you'll never have a garbage, just McDonald's job.
Soup
Yeah.
plantation?
You have yes, soup plantation. That's what I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
yeah. Like, oh my gosh, because I'm 25. I've never felt older, and I've been doing comedy professionally since I was like 20. And people are like, "Oh, you did it so early," and I was like, I still had like some. Food service jobs.
Some
I was still
riffraff.
a reception. Yeah, there's some rough riffraff. And you just turned 18 like 6 weeks ago or something.
Yeah, January.
Nothing creepy, Mom. We do a lot of research
Yeah.
on Instagram. But like, oh my gosh, that is insane to me that you have been so dedicated and committed since you were a young child that now you only have to do what you love to do
Yeah.
for the rest of your life. That's incredible.
I'm very lucky too.
Yeah, and just to praise you more, she's worked with Meghan Trainor, Ellen DeGeneres, Katy Perry. I mean, come on, people.
How was it doing the Switch music video? Was that incredible?
It was crazy because I was not expecting to get it at all. It actually took me a while to even consider doing like the video.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know, it was an Instagram challenge and it was the swish challenge. I can barely say that. But pretty much you just had to post a video of you dancing or just having fun, doing whatever you want to do, and post it. And I saw all my dancer friends doing it, and I was like, okay, like they're getting professional videographers, like going to sets, having. I'm like, okay, I'm like that's no, I'm not gonna put that's too much.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't even considering doing it because I was like, okay, I don't have a chance. Like whatever, they'll take it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, like why not? I don't have anything to lose.
Yes.
You know, it's not like I'm not gonna lose anything from doing it. So I went to a dance studio, just me, and I rented it for like 30 minutes. I propped my phone up on the ballet bar. Just my phone, self-recording it, did a little combo, and yeah, I posted it, didn't think it was gonna go anywhere, and then I got the call like 2 weeks later that I won.
Oh, I just got chills.
And I was like, oh my gosh, because
Wow.
like I looked at all these videos and I'm like, I don't know, because they put so much like effort and hard work and probably money into this video. And I'm not saying that I didn't work hard, but I didn't do that much. I just set up my phone and danced, and like that was enough.
Yeah.
Showed up, yeah.
So it was really cool because I was honestly not expecting it at all. Like if you would have said, like when I first posted it, like asked if I thought I was gonna win, I'd be like, no, not at all. Like it was just more for fun than me actually trying to get it.
God,
Wow.
Isn't that how that works?
Dude, that's incredible.
It's crazy.
That is
And,
a very important lesson for our listeners.
yeah,
you know,
just
keep showing up.
Never
do
know.
It.
Yeah.
Yes,
Just
just
do
show
it. Does
up.
not have to be perfect. Just do it. Start somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can happen?
That actress that just won the Oscar was like, I did my best and my best was good enough.
Oh yeah.
Love that quote.
Yeah, that was really good. I saw
Yeah.
that. But and then when I got on set, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I didn't know how she was gonna act. You never know celebrities. And she's someone who's so big where it's like, okay, if you have a little ego, that's fine, cause you've done a lot. Like,
Yeah.
But she was so nice. And one thing that my mom and I thought was really funny is that when she wasn't shooting, she would just have her little dog Nugget, her little tiny dog, and she would just sit because we filmed it in like a stadium, and so she would just sit on a foldable chair on the side, just with her dog in a blanket, just like petting it, and like she didn't go to her trailer and wasn't like, guys, I need to go to my trailer. Like, no,
Right.
she wasn't like that at all. She would just sit on the side, and she was talking to people, and she was really nice. And she actually came up to me, and we had like a whole interaction, and it was really cool. They got it on film, which is like the craziest. But she was so nice, and she like stalked my Instagram, because she was like,
That's
"Oh, when you
so
dance,
cool.
can you do your one like hand thing?" And I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
just the fact that she knew that, I was like, "Oh, so you've seen it?" So I was like, "Oh, you,"
Because you would never like assume, right?
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh my
So
God.
There is
it was
Instagram
crazy. And she was
stalking.
like, "Yeah, I saw. I was looking through all the videos, and then I saw yours." And she said, "Oh," and I was like, "That's the one," because she said she loved everything I stand for, and she loved just me. And she was like, "You have such a good heart," and I was like, "Oh my god!" She was really nice. She was so nice.
That is so
She was
cool.
crazy.
I love
Wow.
that. That music
Yeah.
video it's like a movie. Like it's
seriously.
not a normal. It's crazy, and
It's
that's like,
crazy.
is that what technically started the floss craze?
The guy that does it in it is obviously like the guy who created or made it popular. At
Yeah.
least. But yeah, then after that video, it was like it got even more
Everywhere.
popular. And
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
Like, oh my god, if I see someone do it one more time.
You're probably so over it now.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh wow.
So for people who aren't familiar with you and like your journey and like she was talking about on that CNN video that Delaney came across, so can you talk about kind of coming up and how you got to where you are, like, you know, prior to all the success? Obviously we want to talk about Katy Perry as much as possible, but just like coming up in those dance classes, those experiences she was talking about with instructors that kind of made you develop this campaign and you know, reach out in the way that you've started doing to other dancers and become such a role model.
So I would say I didn't really realize that I was different, or like, I don't know, I didn't look like everyone else until maybe I was 8 or 9. Because when I was little, I didn't think I was different. I was like, yeah, we're just dancing together.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think anything of it. But when I was maybe like 8 or 9, I started realizing like, oh, like, you know, they're kind of looking at me, and like, I don't know, I just felt it, and I could tell that like I wasn't meant to be there, but I was there anyway. So that's kind of the age where I started realizing like, oh, I'm a little different, like kind of weird, like it might be a little harder for me in the dance world, but I don't know, I'm just gonna keep doing it anyway, because it's what I love, obviously, so I'm not gonna stop. And then the first like incident I guess I had is with the studio director. And the funny thing is he actually begged me to come to his studio because he had seen me at competitions, and I was kind of known. I wouldn't always win. Like, I wasn't the most technical, like, crazy trick dancer, but people knew me for performing. and I was like the best performer. Like when you put me on the stage, like I just like light up, and I'm just such a performer. And so people knew me for that, and I was like the performer. And so he begged me to come to his studio, and the fact that he begged me, I mean, it kind of made me think like, oh wow, he really wants to work with me, and wants to like improve my technique or whatever. So I went to his studio for a year. It was awesome. We competed, went everywhere. I won this title, whatever, scholarships, whatever. Not me. This isn't supposed to be me bragging, but anyway, I did pretty good.
Great.
Yeah.
You brag all you
Let
want.
it out, girl.
Like,
Yeah.
I did good in the year. That's all I'm trying to say is I did pretty well. And he asked to have a meeting with my mom and I, and we thought it was going to be just like a check-in, like this is what you need to do next year. This is like what I see you doing in the future, blah, 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 things like that.
And you're how old?
10.
You're 10.
I was 10.
Okay.
10, 11. Yeah, that age.
Wow.
And he goes, yeah, your body type doesn't fit my vision for my team. That is his exact words, and I like have it engraved in my brain. And it was terrible. I honestly was like in shock. I was like, I was so confused because like no one had ever really like told me to my face that like my body was an issue. So I was like,
And
what?
he hadn't said anything in that year?
No, he actually, the crazy thing is he loved me. Like I was featured in 2 of the dances, like as like the main part. It was insane. Like you would not have seen it coming. And like I worked very hard. Like there was no reason for him to kick me off at all. But yeah, just because of my body, I guess he wanted them to wear the skimpy outfits and he didn't want me on his team anymore. So I left. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, obviously I was very hurt, especially because I was 10. I mean, if someone said that to me now, I'd be like, okay, sure, whatever, I'll leave, I'll go to a different studio, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was really hard, and I kind of thought, because I was 10, he was like the cool dance teacher. I was like, oh, what if he's right? Should I stop dancing? If he thinks that, then maybe I won't make it. And I was kind of just confused, and I considered not dancing anymore, or like just taking a break and like not doing it, but my mom didn't force me, but she knew that in my heart is what I wanted to do and like what I'm passionate about, so she really like encouraged me to not stop, because she probably knew I was going to regret it later, which I definitely would have, because I wouldn't be here probably.
That's a good mom. That's a good mom.
Because sometimes people are like, she forced you to keep going. I'm like, no, she didn't force me to keep taking dance, but she just really encouraged me, and she knew deep down that I didn't want to quit, that I'd be quitting because he said I should, not because I wanted to.
She didn't let an asshole define your life.
Yeah. And so now I'm really happy about it, because that probably started like my whole like, not started the body positive movement of like my whole thing. Obviously that's not what started it, but it got like my head thinking in that direction of like, oh, this is an issue to some people, so I'm gonna have to work to prove that it's not an issue. So that kind of like started my whole like mind process, I guess you can say. But now it's like a good thing, because I know, especially with my Dance Spirit magazine cover, like every dance studio gets that magazine because it's the biggest dance magazine, and everyone's looking through it obviously to see what is going on in the dance industry. And so I know that he just opened that package and he saw my face and he was probably like, oh great.
Yes.
So like I wish I could see his reaction, but I know that he was probably like, oh gosh, great, like this is just what I needed. So
he kind of gave you a gift in a really shitty way. Yeah. What in that moment, how did you and mom react when that was said
sure
to you?
your mom
I
was
can't
so mad.
she
imagine.
literally, if anyone says anything about me, she like goes off. But
Yeah, does that man
back
still have
then-
eyeballs? I feel like she would have like scratched them
Back
out.
then we didn't really like yell at him. I mean, I don't remember exactly what we said, but I'm sure she probably was just like, okay, then like whatever, like we don't need you, bye.
Yeah.
And like we just left. But I mean, in the moment I was sad, obviously. I wasn't like on attack mode, like, you know what? Like, no, I wasn't that confident yet.
Yeah.
I was like, my soul's crushed. But
Well, also you're 10. What
Yeah, come on.
monster would say that to a
I
10-year-old?
know. It's like, okay, but I'm sure she said something like, okay, fine, if that's your opinion, like you're wrong, then we'll just prove you,
Yeah. And you did.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
I
God.
know.
I think that is so amazing, because like I took ballet when I was a kid because my parents forced me, and like I wasn't the typical like I didn't look like other people in the class, so I used to like wear jeans to class and stuff. Like I was really uncomfortable, and nobody said anything to me, but I still felt it. So the fact that you had somebody say it to you, and still you were like, no, I'm not gonna feel that way about myself, that's so dumb, is so cool and inspiring. And like, what strength to have at 10.
I know. I keep like putting myself back in like what I was doing at 10, and I'm like, that's nuts. I was nowhere near that sort of like a mental, like cognitive state of being able to be like, you know, this is gonna make me stronger. I was just eating like fruit gushers and you know, being an idiot.
It was really hard. Like I wasn't like okay right away. It took me a little bit, but yeah, it was sad. And it was hard because, like, at conventions or competitions, I would have to see him and all the studio dancers. But, so it was a little annoying, but I just tried, obviously, my best to be like, yeah, look at what you're missing out on now. But,
Yes.
you know, it was still really hard.
Yeah. So many people would have let that stop them completely. And obviously had the current encouragement of your mom. But what kind of stuff were you saying to yourself to get you excited about it again after such negativity in your life?
Yeah. I mean, it was like, I mean, I've said this like 8 times. I probably sound so like whatever the word is where I keep saying it. But like I said, it was really hard. But I think I just knew that this is like what I'm meant to do. And I just like can't see myself doing anything else. It's like, this is my only option. So like, you're going to do it and you're going to get over it. And you just have to do what you love. Cause I don't know. But I didn't really like have things that I would like say to myself, or I didn't really have like self affirmations, I guess, which aren't a bad idea. I recommend that. But at that age, I wasn't really doing anything. I kind of just knew that I need to keep going and doing what I love. And I shouldn't let, you know, this one little thing, you know, stop me.
Yeah.
Has there been any other negativity since then from instructors or entertainment industry or this or that? Well, let's hear it, because you know we're all performers too, so we've all gotten it.
Oh yeah.
So
badly.
I'm not gonna say the studio director the story I just told you about the studio, because first of all, I don't want to be petty like him. I'm not trying to be like him. Second of all, I don't want to give him the publicity.
Good for you, girl. Yes.
But this person who I'm about to say, I'm gonna say his name.
Yeah.
So Richard Simmons. I mean, no one really knows who he is anymore because he's like,
Richard Simmons, the 80s instructor.
We're old, so we know.
Yes, we know.
I don't know where he went. Kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, there's a whole
but
podcast about him disappearing.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I went to my first red carpet ever when I first moved here. It was like the same week I moved here. I was 13, about to be 14. And I was like jumping up and down. I was so excited because it was my first red carpet. I mean, when I was back in Colorado, I would like dream of even seeing the red carpet. Like, it was so crazy. And so I took like 4 hours getting ready, and like I thought I looked so good, and I was so excited to go with my friend. And we get there, and it was like, I don't know what it was, but it was some sort of like fashion show. Miss Universe was there. Other celebrities were there. It was pretty cool. And we saw Richard Simmons, and not because we were a fan, obviously, but just because it was my first celebrity I've seen. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a celebrity. So it was cool. And we went up to him, and we asked if we could take a picture, and he said, sure. And after we got done taking a picture, in front of maybe like 100, like 150 people, because it was a really big event, and we were all around the red carpet, so a ton of people around, and pretty loudly, like he wasn't screaming, but he didn't try to hide it at all or like whisper or anything like that. He just said, oh yeah, like if you want to be successful, you're gonna have to lose 15 to 20 pounds. And I was 13 years old, like a little kid.
What?
And yeah, he said that in front of everyone as he's like surrounded by models. I was like, oh my God. Okay. And yeah, I started bawling my eyes out. I like ran away. I was like, oh my gosh. But Mother Bear comes in. Yes. And she just started saying, she's like, okay, you don't know what she does. You know, you don't know her life. She just came from like a 7-hour rehearsal. She dances every day. Like, you don't need to be telling her that. And you don't know what she's been through in her life and things like that. And this is like the worst part. He says to my mom, oh yeah, and you need to be an example.
Richard Simmons is saying this?
Gosh.
I know why he's gone now. Murdered him and buried the body.
So he said that, and my mom, I love this response, and my mom goes, okay, well, when you've had 7 kids, call me.
Yes. Queen mom. Yes.
And then he said something like really stupid, I don't know, whatever, and then we ended up leaving. And my mom sent him like a Facebook message saying, okay, you publicly humiliated my daughter. I want a public apology. And he didn't give us a public apology. He sent us a private one and gave us this whole explanation that was totally fake of why he was sad that day. And I was like, okay, can you just own up that you're like a douchebag? 'Cause
Yeah.
That's the real story. Like, what?
Yeah.
There's no excuse for
No,
saying
if
something
I'm having
like
a
that.
bad day, I don't go up to someone and be like, hey, you're ugly. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
like,
you can't do that.
no.
You just can't.
And so we did get an apology, but I wish we would have got like the interaction on film because we could have.
Oh
Wow. This is Richard Simmons, a gay man in the 80s that was popular. You'd think, having been through his own stuff because of being gay, he would be extremely kind and sensitive and to everybody.
Yeah, to embrace all,
Right.
and not be like, no,
Yeah.
like just be such an asshole.
I don't
He was
understand
terrible.
the hypocrisy.
Fuck that guy. Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that story.
If you find Richard Simmons, you email us. You bring us his head.
Oh my gosh. I have a question. How many hours a day are you practicing? How much work does it take to get this good at dancing? That's what I want.
A lot. You're not just like born with the talent. And I was terrible when I first started, even though I thought I was the best dancer
Well, you just
ever.
learned to walk.
Yeah. Give yourself a little credit.
Still working on
but
balance.
I feel like a lot of people think like you take 5 dance classes and you're like pro. It's like no.
It's hours a day,
And like
right?
I have some friends. I've had friends in the past who like they want to become a dancer and like they'll take 2 classes and they'll get upset because they're not like the best one there. Or like they don't get, there's a thing called being like called out in class where it's like sometimes they'll have a videographer come and like film certain people doing it to like promote their choreography and stuff. And they don't call everyone out. They only call out the people that either they saw or they liked or things like that. And sometimes my friends that I take the class will get really upset and they'll be like, oh, why didn't I get called out? And I'm like, girl, you don't just get called out your first time. I've had to dance like 13 to 14 years before I ever even got called out. So like, it's like, it's a lot of work and it's like a lot of feeling like you're like terrible. But then like one day it like kind of clicks for you. But yeah, I mean, I dance probably like on an average like 3 to 4 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'll take like 2 classes a day is like probably average. Sometimes I don't dance like Saturday, but like every other day for the most part, I dance every day.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a lot.
So yeah, it's a lot, but
Yeah.
it's like what I love. So it doesn't seem like work for me. I'm like, woo, dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I still love doing it. I feel like dancing is a lot like stand-up in that way where it takes a while to get good, and while you're like bad at it, it feels very public.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like seen bad dance and everybody's seen bad stand-up comedy, and you're just like, oh god, just like fast forward until like you're better at this.
Yeah.
But like you have to just do it in order to get good, and it can be awkward. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh,
Yeah.
I've had moments.
Well,
That's
do you have
amazing.
any?
I have a lot of questions.
Oh, I
You
have
know, let's cut to
yeah.
our sponsors one more time. 1 sec.
I know that around this time of the year, we're all looking for ways to reinvent ourselves. I'm constantly trying to reinvent myself into someone who can wear heels. Never be that person.
I've been trying for 10 years.
I'm trying so hard.
Still not sticking.
But changing your whole look can be intimidating, and the easiest way to step outside of your comfort zone and turn heads is with a statement shoe from Shoe Dazzle. You can get online, take their style quiz, which is so fun. Did you learn anything about your style?
Dude, so helpful. I learned that I like combat boots and leather jackets. I mean, that stuff I already knew, but it just like, it took me up to the next level. you
Yeah,
know?
it's good to have it in quiz form and then
Yeah.
have it on like a trendy website that'll go,
Totally.
you can do it better than how you're doing it.
Yeah. Also, I like denim, which didn't know I like denim so
yeah.
much, but I do.
I feel like I knew that about you. You wear
Yeah.
lots of denim jackets. You're so cute in them.
didn't
We
realize.
knew that about you before you knew that about you. So you take their really fun style quiz to personalize your shopping experience. No matter what your styles you're looking for, Shoe Dazzle is the place to get your shoe fix. But it's not just that. With tons of shoes, clothing, and accessories, Shoe Dazzle has thousands of ways to step up your look. But most importantly, VIPs like us save 30% off most retail prices all day, every day, plus get free shipping and returns, not to mention tons of other exclusive sales and perks. Now's the time to sign up as a VIP because you'll get your first pair of shoes for 75% off, as low as $10. You can't beat that. This is an exclusive deal for podcast listeners, so make sure you go to shoedazzle.com/helpless to get it. That's shoedazzle.com/helpless to step up your look today for as low as $10. shoedazzle.com/helpless.
Love it. Before Shoe Dazzle, I wore like very plain combat boots. And now if you look at my new ones from Shoe Dazzle, they're like,
I
they have a sweater
love
on them. And I'm going to post a picture of them in the group because I get so many compliments on these things.
They're so cute.
Yeah.
I now have like the perfect pair of black ankle boots
Yes.
that are like a little elevated, so they make you look more flattering, but they're still comfortable. Like I can walk in them and my feet don't hurt. I love them.
Good for all the occasions too.
Yes. Thank you, Shoe Dazzle. Also, ModCloth believes that fashion celebrates all women, so they are expanding their size range to 00 to 28. For 15% off your purchase of $100 or more, go to modcloth.com and enter code HELPLESS at checkout. This offer is valid for one-time use only and expires on June 9th, 2019. And it's never too early to start thinking about spring. I mean, what are we in now? March? It's coming.
Oh,
it's coming, you guys.
Yeah.
It's that moment when you reach for a pop of color or leave the house with just a light jacket. Tay, I'm looking
I
at
love
you.
me a summer jacket.
You have a light and a white jacket on
Yes,
right
I
now.
do.
It's very springy. It's a season that's so much more than florals, though ModCloth has plenty of those too. So it's time to stock up on dresses and swimsuits for spring and summer as well. Got a question about fit? Their team of mod stylists can hook you up with complimentary sizing and styling help. I have mentioned before how much I love ModCloth. One of my dresses is just so beautiful from there. It has pockets, which girl loves pockets in a dress. Take your phone with you, looks super cute. So we really love having ModCloth on here. For 15% off of your purchase of $100 or more, go to modcloth.com and enter code HELPLESS at checkout. This offer is valid for one-time use only and expires on June 9th, 2019. Now back to the show.
Yes.
All right, cool. We're back with Amanda LaCount. You had a question, Delaney?
Oh, I got so many. Okay, so let's see.
Do you also do choreography too? So is it mostly for yourself? Is it for what kind of, how do you get into that essentially?
Yeah.
Especially so young.
Yeah, I would say like now, since like I've taken so many dance classes and from so many choreographers, like I know what I like, and like I kind of get inspired by like other choreographers, and I'm like, oh, I want to try to choreograph. And so I think like 3 years ago I first choreographed at an intensive I went to, and they seemed to really like it and thought it was really good, and I was like, oh, maybe I should try choreographing more. And like right now I don't teach like every week, like I'm not a teacher, but I like to choreograph sometimes. And like I'm going to San Francisco this weekend and I'm teaching there, and then I'm going to Australia and I'm teaching there. So I'm starting to teach more, but I wouldn't say like I'm quite like choreographer yet, like professional, like like that. But I enjoy it, and I think it's really cool to like make your own like dance up. I don't know, I think it's really fun, and especially seeing other dancers like do your choreography, it's really cool.
So cool. Dude, that's amazing.
Is that something you want to pursue as you get older?
I mean, right now I'm focused on like more like me dancing career, but I would say maybe like, because obviously you can't be a dancer forever. Like there's a very certain like age most of the time. So I'll probably dance from when I'm like, well now to like maybe 27, 28.
Really? That's it?
And then I'll start like choreographing.
Okay.
You can choreograph for like forever. Like there's legendary
Right.
choreographers now, they're like 50, 60 that still teach. So it's not like I'm like out of the dance world, but most of the time people kind of start to slow down like late 20s, early 30s, just because like prime time is like 18 to like 25.
Wow.
It's like
Interesting.
the best years. So.
Wow. So what are some of your long-term goals in this career? I don't know anything about dance, so like what's some of the milestones that you're hoping to hit?
Most dancers want to go on a tour with an artist. I really want to go on a tour.
Who would you want to most tour with? Like, who are your like
Lately,
dancing
I've been
inspirations?
saying Meghan Trainor to be really cool, just because I really like her. I've worked with her before, and I
No big deal.
and I really like her, so I think that'd be really fun. Another person who, if I'm being like honest, like not to be stereotypical, but I don't think I'd like match with this artist very well, but I still love her, and I would love to somehow like go on tour with her, is Rihanna. Because and I mean, I don't want to like jinx it, but I want to work with her this year, and I think I have a chance because she started following me last year. So I'm like, maybe she wants to use me for something, because she doesn't follow many dancers. She follows like 3 dancers. And I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh, that's so cool.
That's so
I'm like hoping that that's why, because I feel like, I mean, maybe she just likes what I do, but I feel like there might be something there. So like, that'd be really cool. But again, I don't know if like me dancing back up for Rihanna would be like a good match, but you never know.
But I feel like
You know?
she's so big on like body positivity.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so is
definitely. And her
Meghan
whole
Trainor.
Fenty, like Savage times Fenty, like all
Yes.
their fashion shows are very body inclusive and things like that. So
Yes. Yeah. I love all of that.
Oh,
So I would love to do that,
That's
but I don't
cool.
know. So a tour would be really good. And then, I don't know, I love traveling. I've been able to travel like more these past 2 years, and I love doing that. I love going to different places and dancing and teaching. So that's not a goal. That's just more I want to do it more
do
because
more
I've
of, yeah.
already done it, but I'd love to do it even more, and I'd love to choreograph for like an award show or dance for an award show. I danced for the Radio Disney Music Awards, but I'd love to dance for like, I don't know, like the AMA or like MTV Music Awards and things like that. So
So cool.
This is so fun. I love like asking.
It's
all these
amazing.
questions.
So obviously you're a hardcore athlete. How do you take care of yourself? Like, what's your daily routine of self-care and maintenance and all that stuff?
yeah. Well, I think, okay, water is like really important because if I'm being honest, like I really don't drink that much water, and I like really need to. If I say like really one more time, but I really should be drinking more water, because when I do, like, not force myself, but you kind of do have to force yourself to drink a lot of water, because no one's gonna go through like 8 bottles of water in the day. That's just like not like normal, but
Unless
that's
they're
what you're
like
supposed to
actively
drink.
focusing on that. Yeah.
And so I try to like force myself, and like obviously a good way, to drink as much water as possible. And whenever I do that, I feel much better, and I just feel like refreshed and like energized. And I think it's just a really underrated thing that you need in your life, especially if you're an athlete. Because I know when I don't drink water, like I haven't had good food before class, like I get very lightheaded and I just don't feel right, and it's just like ugh. So I would say water is like one, like you need to have that.
Yeah.
And then I would say like some nuts is really good because it like gives you energy, but it also, for me at least, if I have like a ton of like peanuts or like cashews and things like that, like it's enough food to make me not hungry, and it also is like a protein and it gives me energy. So I always try to have nuts in my bag as well. And then one thing that isn't like food or like drink related as far as being an athlete, but I have like a journal that I write in. I try to every night, but if not, like every other day. And it's just kind of like what happened through the day, how I'm feeling. And it really helps just to like know like how I'm feeling and to look back at it. And I know, I feel like that's also underrated, is like journaling.
Yep.
And I love journaling.
Oh yeah, we're big fans of journaling on this
so
podcast.
I love that. And I just started doing it like maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and I love it. It's like my favorite.
Isn't it weird to think about the times when you weren't journaling? Like, doesn't that seem so weird now that you're like, how was I not processing just like my day to day? Like, so much happens in your life on a daily basis, and you just, I've had like years go by where I haven't journaled, and then you're like, what? How was I even like handling any of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a daily journaler. I need to work on that.
Even if it's not daily,
Yeah.
like I said, sometimes I don't do it every day, because like sometimes, I'm gonna be honest, there's boring days where it's like I don't feel like I need to write about my day to day.
Yeah.
Right.
But if something happens, or like you have a certain way of feeling about something that happened or things like that, I would recommend that you like write it down, because it helps me. And I like looking back at like my journal, like seeing like the things I wrote, because sometimes it's funny, but sometimes it's just nice to like reflect.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we forget the power of like self-soothing. I know sometimes I just rely so heavily on like my fiance or my friends or my therapist to talk me through it, but it's like, I don't know. I'm about to be 30. I've learned a few things. Like I can probably help myself get through some stuff. So yeah.
Are you comfortable talking about a very big loss that you experienced with your dad?
Yeah.
So when did he pass away? How did this, what timeline?
So it was about like 3.5-ish years ago, November 2015, and he had diabetes, a very serious case of diabetes, and he also had prostate cancer before that. So yeah, he had a few issues, but he died from going into a diabetic coma. Is how he died, and he was actually in Florida when it happened, and we were here because since he had so many issues, he was actually staying in like a care like facility back in Colorado, because when we moved, he didn't come with us. He stayed back home in Colorado, and so then he had to go to Florida to visit his family, because I don't remember what for, but I think he actually just might have been visiting just to see them, because it had been a while. And It's funny. I mean, not funny, but it's kind of funny, because when he packed, he was obsessed with Star Trek. And so I'm pretty sure we looked back in his suitcase, and he forgot to take all of his insulin he needed. Instead, he took all of his Star Trek movies with him.
Oh my God.
It's funny to laugh at now, but I was like, are you kidding me? And so, he went to a coma while he was sleeping, so at least it wasn't painful. It was probably very, like, peaceful, but it was hard, like, not being there, and, like, we kind of felt guilty because he kind of mentioned wanting to come to California with us, but we just couldn't take care of him. Like, I was gone all the time, and she was working. It just wouldn't work out, so we thought it'd be better to leave him there. And so we just kind of feel guilty, like, maybe if we would have been there, we could have helped, or, like, we could have done something, but we might not have been able to. But we just kind of feel a little bit guilty. We wish we could have, like, had him here at least. But yeah, I mean, I'm fine now, but it was hard. Yeah, I don't know. He was, like, very supportive, and, you know, when we were, like, we're obviously fine now, but, like, in the beginning when we first moved out here, we were, like, struggling to, like, for, like, pennies. Like, it's hard living here, and especially from Colorado to LA, it's, like, Colorado now, like, that we realize is so much easier to live there than LA. It's so much cheaper and, like, so much nicer. So it's really hard moving to LA and trying to, like, live off of me dancing. It was hard, but so whenever, like, because sometimes it'd be so bad I couldn't even take dance classes because we just couldn't waste, like, the $15 on a dance class. It was like, that's not a priority really. And he would, like, not pay his phone bill so I could take dance classes. Like, he was very, like, really supportive, and he would always watch, like, if I had an appearance on a TV show, we'd be like, okay, it's on at 8, I'll be, like, 20 minutes in. He'll be like, okay. And he was not very tech savvy, so he'd be like, I'm trying to figure it out, but I can't really. Yeah, so he was really, really supportive, and yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he's watching, but I also, actually, this is, like, probably the coolest thing of my career so far, or one of the coolest, is for my Dance Spirit cover, I asked them if they could, like, dedicate it to my dad. And they put, like, a family picture from when I was, like, 3, and my whole family. And they wrote, like, a note, like, Amanda would like to dedicate this article to her dad. And it was really cool. That's probably the coolest part of the article, not even being on the cover, just, like, that. It meant a lot, and it was really cool. And I was, like, crying. It was really cool.
That's very sweet. Very sweet. What kind of things helped you kind of get through that grief?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's really hard. I don't think I really processed it at first. I mean, obviously, when I found out, obviously I was, like, bawling, but I don't think I really, like, understood or, like, took time to, like, grieve and, like, go through it. I think I was kind of just like, okay, it happened, and I don't know, I tried to get, like, past it, but I don't think I gave myself the time and, like, didn't go through all the stages that I needed to, like, be okay with it. And actually, the next day, I had a job I had to go to, and I had already committed. It was, like, a music video for a girl, and they were like, oh, you don't have to go, but I just felt like I had to go. And so I went to that, and then, like, it was really weird. Like, when I got to school the next day, it was almost like I was, like, delusional, because I got to school and I was talking to my friend, and literally we were just talking, like, normally, and I was laughing, and I literally said, oh yeah, like, my dad died yesterday, and I was, like, laughing. And it's just, like, it was almost like I was trying to, like, cover up, and, like, I didn't want to feel it, so I was just like, yeah, like,
kind of, like, in denial,
yeah,
like, not accepting,
and like, I didn't want to, like, get sad and, like, go through that. So it was really weird, and, like, I still don't really know why I did that, because now I'm thinking back, I'm like, you seem like a psychopath. Like, that's why you laughing? Like, it was weird.
You're a human being. You're trying to process.
I think it was just, like, such a shock that I, like, didn't realize it yet. It was almost, like, funny. I was like, oh yeah, he's dead. Like, wow. I don't know. It was really weird.
Emotions can be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely. It was weird, but I think, I mean, I don't know how actually I got through. I mean, I think obviously with time, I mean, it's never gonna be, like, fine, obviously. I'm never gonna be like, yeah, I'm fine with it. Like, that doesn't happen. Right. But I think that, like, since I've had time to, like, kind of, I don't know, I just think with time I've gotten better, and I think I have taken, like, the time to realize and, you know, to go through all, like, the emotions I need to feel content with it. And so I'm good now. Like, I've come to terms with it. You know, I can't really change it.
Right.
It happened, and I kind of have to, like, not get over it, because that makes it sound like it's, like, not important. Like, I'll get over it.
Right.
But,
yeah. No, you never get over it. Like you said, it'll never be fine. It's just, you know, this is kind of how it is now. And actually, that's, like, interesting. My mom died when I was a kid, and I did the same thing where I had to tell people at school, and I would, like, laugh. Yeah. And then people thought I was lying, and I'm like, oh no, I'm just trying to make everyone comfortable with it. So there's, like, that thing where you want other people to think you're fine, so that they don't get sad, and then it's like, it's so weird. Yeah.
It was really awkward with my friend. She was like, what? Like, she was like, are you okay? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And it was weird. It was clearly like, you're not fine.
Right.
But I probably shouldn't have gone to school that week.
I know.
But
Yeah.
I felt fine.
Right.
Like, I didn't feel like sitting at home wouldn't do anything. I was like, I'm
Right.
fine.
Yeah,
Right.
sometimes your instinct though is to just like do as many things as you can though to like keep yourself preoccupied and like not process it. So I feel like
yeah.
we've seen that a lot, or you just like throw yourself into work and all that.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question that's off this topic, but so with school, how does that work with your dance career?
Yeah, I mean, I went.
Good one.
Yeah, it was really hard. I mean, when I was going to school, Denver School of the Arts, they hated me working and being gone. Even though it's like an art school, you would think they'd be happy.
Yeah,
like, that you're
Right,
working.
that's the point.
Yeah.
But they hated you missing school, and they wanted you to be there like every day, like blah blah blah. And so they hated it when I was gone. But I was like, okay, this is my career. Like, I'm here to help my career. Like, it was so confusing to
and
me.
it
I
makes
was
them
like,
look good
don't
when
you
one of their
want me to
students is
work?
crushing it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
we would be driving out to LA every weekend for like a month, 16-hour drive each way.
Oh my gosh.
So we'd be doing that to go, because I got on a dance crew here that had all of like the best kid dancers. I don't know if you know any of them, but like Casey Rice, Tati McQuaid, Jordan Jones. They're all like pretty big now, like pretty big dancers. And they were like starting to get big back then as well. So it was really cool for me to even be a part of it. And they actually made me like the main part, and the kids kind of hated me because they were like, who's this girl that's coming in? But anyway.
You're like, bitch, I drove 16 hours. Give me the spotlight. I've earned it. Oh.
But so I was doing that, and so I would have to sometimes, every once in a while for a performance and things like that, miss school. And they just hated that. And so once I moved out here, obviously I stopped going there, but I found an art school here called Champs Charter High School Performing Arts, something like that. And they were actually very supportive. They have a thing called independent study, and what they would let me do is if I had a job longer than 3 days, they would let me go into independent study and do all my work or whatever, and then when I come back, I can just go right back into like regular.
Perfect.
So they were like really supportive, and they loved what I was doing, and they thought it was great. So that was really cool. So I didn't really have any trouble in 9th to 12th grade, but when I was kind of starting to like come out here and stuff, it was really hard with my school back home. But yeah, I went to a public school all 4 years with everything that I was doing. People always think I was homeschooled, obviously, because a lot of kids here that are like actors or professional dancers, they're always homeschooled, obviously, so they can dance and do jobs and things like that. But yeah, my mom wanted me to have like a normal high school experience, but my experience in high school was not normal. Like, and art school is not normal at all. It's crazy. But I loved it, and I'm really happy I went. I got to go to prom. I got to have an official graduation.
That is awesome.
And I have
That
friends
is important.
Best of
that
both
aren't
worlds.
in the industry. I think that's like really beneficial to me, having my bestest friends not be in
Totally.
the industry, because it's like I don't need to like talk about dance 24/7, and I don't need to talk about the audition coming up and like, did you get it, like no, no. So it's really nice having like my like 3 or 4 closest friends not really be in the industry. They're dancers, but they're not like trying to
Doing as well as you.
Yeah.
We understand.
So they're not like trying to be like professional dancers doing what I'm doing. So it's nice to have like a normal people that I can like talk to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you actively try to take like a day or two off a week, or does it vary just depending on your schedule?
Yeah, it just depends. Like, I don't like try like every week to make sure, okay, Amanda, you need one day where you can like relax. Not really. It's like kind of whatever comes up, it's like I do, and if I happen to have a day off, then it's like, oh yay, like I can like relax or whatever. But no, I don't try to make it a weekly thing. But like yesterday, I believe, yesterday I had like a day off, so I like relaxed and like was watching Hulu with my dog.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, so every once in a while I get a day off, but it's not like a must. Like I must have a day off every
Yeah. What do you like to do besides dance? Because I know that's all we've asked you about. Cause
Yeah.
we're
I'm
Just
so
gonna move this mic
interested.
over a little bit.
Oh
But
yeah,
is
sorry.
there anything like you love to do in your free time that has nothing to do with your
Yeah.
career?
I mean, I've already mentioned this, but first of all, journaling. I'm not gonna talk a lot about that. I just love doing that.
Yeah.
I really like drawing. I haven't done it in a while, but there was like a 2-year period where I was obsessed. Like I would draw every day for like hours. I loved it. I used to do horseback riding.
Oh, cool.
And I loved horseback riding.
Of course
I haven't done
you
it in a
did.
really I haven't done it in a really long time, but I absolutely love horses, and they're just like beautiful. I go to the beach a lot. I mean, hanging out with my friends, but nothing like special. We just like, I don't know, get dinner, and sometimes they'll come take class with me because they're dancers as well.
Yeah.
So that's fun, and
Nice.
yeah, there's a few
Having
things. I mean, I
downtime.
act as well.
Very cool.
So yeah, I do a little bit of singing, but I'm not like a singer, but I do a little bit of singing.
That's amazing.
So you are obviously such a huge role model for so many people with dance and just the body positivity and the campaign you have. Who are role models of yours? Like, who do you look up to for, who are on the same track of like doing what they love, overcoming stereotypes, all that good stuff?
There's a girl named Allison, and her last name is really hard to say, but it's some sort of crazy last name that I can't pronounce. But she's a dancer as well, and she's maybe like a little bigger than me, and she is actually a backup dancer for Janet Jackson.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, so when she got that, I was like really excited just because like I had never seen someone like even close to my size be a backup dancer, because they always want like the blonde, super tan, like tall blondes that are like this big around that wear the skimpy outfits, and it's like whatever. So it was really cool seeing like her get that, and it like gave me hope, like, oh wow, like I can do it. Like it was really cool seeing that. So she's really cool. I don't know what she's doing right now, because I think the tour is over, but that just her getting the tour was a really big deal. And then Denise Bedok, she's a model, and I love her. I actually got to work with her on one of her campaigns that she did for her brand, and she was so nice, and she's just very cool, I guess. That's such like a bland word, but like she's just really cool, and I look up to her a lot, and she's a plus size model who's really nice and really supportive of me, and she's much like she's more successful than I am and has done like more things with her career, but she's also older obviously, but it's really cool that like she supports me, and she's very nice and humble and stuff like that. So
how cool, what is it like being that for other people, who are your age or older or younger, girls who reach out to you and say stuff like that?
It's really cool, because like the message I get the most often is like, oh, I stopped dancing when I was little because on my size or whatever, but I wish I wouldn't have, or like you encouraged me to take a ballet class today or something like that. And it's really cool. Yeah, I love seeing those comments, because it's like sad that they stopped, and like sometimes they say like I wish I wouldn't have, and I like regret stopping, and it's really sad, but at least like I've encouraged them to like start again, or they've learned from me, or I've inspired them in some way. It's really cool. And especially my whole goal really is like, when you're asking about like my goals in my dance career, like going on tour obviously is like a goal, but it's not like if I get that then I'm set. Like it's not like my dream. Like my dream is just like to inspire as many people as possible, but it's cool knowing that like kids, because that's another goal, like my main goal is kids, because when I was little I didn't really have someone like me, so I want to be the someone like me that I didn't have.
So cool.
There's another quote.
Oh my goodness.
Nice little bow tie to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think that's.
Oh my gosh.
We have to end there. It's not gonna get better than that.
Yeah.
That's a perfect quote. Amanda, thank you so much.
Thank you. Plug all the stuff, where people find you, and all the stuff you want to talk about.
Yeah, most of my social media is just Amanda LaCount, LaCount. I have a website, amandalacount.com, if you want to go there. It has everything you possibly want to know about me, and yeah, I don't know. That's
follow
most
her
of
on
it.
Instagram right
Oh,
now.
it's so
Pull your phone out.
gratifying.
She has almost 200,000 followers. Like, she's unbelievable. It's like one of the best things that comes on my feed every day. Is your dancing.
So good.
I love it.
So good.
I watch all of it.
Yeah, and then one last thing.
Yes.
So any of our listeners, who are hearing this interview, who have stopped doing something they love, any words of wisdom to get them back in it, to start again, or to just kind of push through?
Yeah, this is like very like generic answer kind of, but I would say like you only have like the one life, so I feel like you don't want to get to a certain age like regret not doing something that you wanted to do your whole life, or if like, I don't know, this is kind of like morbid, but like God forbid something happened to you and like you weren't able to dance for some reason, it's like, are you gonna look back and be like, oh, I wish I would have done that when I had the chance,
Yeah.
Because you're not guaranteed tomorrow. You're not guaranteed that you'll always be able to. Okay, this is really sad, but like you're not guaranteed you'll always be able to walk or to move or to dance or whatever. So you might as well do it when you have the chance, because a lot of people don't, and so it's like you should do it for the people that can't do it, and stop being a baby.
Love it.
did.
Drop.
Yes.
I have to say real quick, I have to do some show plugs. You have to do show plugs, Taylor?
absolutely.
Okay, I'll be headlining Spokane Comedy Club this weekend, so please come out. It's my hometown club. I love it so much there. And then next weekend, I'll be headlining Dr. Grins in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So kelseycook.com for tickets and other tour dates.
I am at Wise Guys in Salt Lake City, April 4th through 6th. And I will be in Austin for the Moon Tower Comedy Festival the 25th through 27th. So that's where I'm at.
And I'll be here with my dog in a doggy carrier walking around the neighborhood.
God.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Amanda. That was awesome.
Okay, bye.
Bye. You guys, we love you so much. Thank you for supporting Self-Helpless. You can follow us on social media on Instagram and Facebook at Self-Helpless Podcast. And you can visit selfhelplesspodcast.com for all things Self-Helpless. Learn about Patreon and how to sign up. Our merch is there. Information about our Facebook group and how to join. All the episodes you can listen to are on there, a little bit about the show. Our individual sites are linked there, and our contact information, email, and P.O. box if you want to send us some love letters. And you can follow us individually as well. I am at Delaney Fisher on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and DelaneyFisher.com, where you can watch my docu-comedy special, Love It First Cousin, for free. And then DicksByDelaney.com if you want to buy some dick mugs.
Sweet. I'm at Kelsey Cook Comedy on Instagram, at Kelsey Cook on Twitter, kelseycook.com for all tour dates and merch. And my album, Savor It, is still available to buy on iTunes, and you can watch Wrists of Fury, my foosball web series that has an episode with Taylor and Delaney on the All Things Comedy YouTube channel.
And I am at Taylor Tomlinson on Twitter and Instagram, and ttomcomedy.com for my Netflix special and all live tour dates.
Sweet. We love you guys.
Why won't